Hi there. I wanted to give you a quick update on the Petito versus Laundrie lawsuit, where Gabby Petito's parents are suing Brian Laundrie's parents for emotional distress. Very interesting case. Pay attention to this case. Why? Because there's an interesting hearing coming up in the Venice courthouse, Venice, Florida courthouse, on May 24th. So that's next Wednesday. The court is going to make some decisions. The court is going to be having a hearing on whether the protective order in which the Laundries do not want to turn over their bank statements and why, I'll get to that in a second, because we're going to take a look at the actual court documents. And also, what is in that letter? What new information is in that letter that Roberta Laundrie wrote to Brian Laundrie, that burn after reading letter? Interesting. Who's baking a cake? What's going on with the cake? What and another update is that the plaintiffs, Gabby Petito's parents, are asking for a subpoena to obtain FBI records. Now, what's that about? Okay, so first things first. So hi there, I'm Michele Hagan. I'm a legal analyst and attorney. I'm a California attorney, not a Florida attorney. So this video is for education and information. Thank you to all of you who have subscribed. Please do support my work by subscribing. Hit that like button. Leave a question or comment. What's your analysis? This is a really interesting case. Okay, so I'm a little delayed in reporting. I've been very busy, but I took a look at what's going on with the court, and there's a lot going on in this case. All right, so let's take it step by step. Oh, and the Laundrie's attorney, Stephen Bertolino, the one who was added as a defendant in this case, because they're pointing the fingers at it. Laundries are pointing the finger at Bertolino. Bertolino's pointing the finger at Laundries, because nobody wants liability for any emotional distress that was caused to Gabby Petito's parents when, as Gabby's parents allege, when Stephen Bertolino, on behalf of, or maybe not, the Laundries issued a statement, that they were hoping that the Gabby Petito's parents would be reunited with Gabby. You know, in other words, what did the Laundries know, or what did Steve Bertolino know when that statement was made? Because if they knew she was dead, then Gabby's parents are claiming that caused them emotional distress by telling them something different. Okay, so let's take a look at what's going on in this case. First thing first, the letter. What about this cake? What about baking a cake? What does this have to do with anything? It's in the letter that Roberta Laundrie wrote to her son, Brian Laundrie. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is it's called a protective order. That's when you want to protect evidence. You don't want to have to release it to the other side, to the opposing party. You want the court to step in and say, nope, you don't have to release it. You don't have to provide it as part of discovery. Well, Gabby's parents want to find out about, let's take a look at this letter. They want the Laundries to produce the letter that Roberta Laundrie wrote to Brian Laundrie. Okay, so this is their response to the defendant. So the Laundries have filed a motion, a protective order, so that they don't have to release this letter to the Petitos, to Gabby's parents. And why is that? They're asking for, please produce a copy of a letter written by Roberta Laundrie to Brian Laundrie, which letter states in part that Roberta Laundrie would bring a shovel to help bury a body, and which letter was contained in an envelope on the outside said burn after reading. So this is the burn after reading letter, but what else is in this letter? So if you read through this motion to compel here, the plaintiffs claim that in the letter in question written by Roberta Laundrie to Brian Laundrie references bringing a shovel to help bury a body. I already covered that in a prior video. And this is what's new. And baking a cake with a shiv in it, a knife or some kind of weapon in the cake To bake a cake with the shiv in it should Brian Laundrie grow out of prison. Is that really what's in the letter? She not only said, Roberta Laundrie, they're claiming Roberta Laundrie wrote in this letter. Again, we don't have the letter yet because that's what the plaintiffs are asking for, the Laundries to turn over this letter, which I think the FBI gave to Steve Bertolino. I think Bertolino has it in his custody. The plaintiffs, Gabby's parents, are saying in that letter it was not only Roberta was offering to bring a shovel to help bury a body, but now baking a cake with a shiv, a weapon, in case Brian goes to prison? Oh my, oh my. That is going to be damaging evidence if it goes to trial. Damaging. Why do they want it? Because it's a reasonable inference that the letter was written at the time that Gabby was yet unburied, dead but unburied. And if the letter was written after the murder, it's further proof that both the Laundries and Bertolino were aware that Gabby was deceased at the time the statement in question was issued. That statement that Stephen Bertolino made about we hope you're being reunited and the search is successful. If it was not written at the time when Roberta Laundrie knew that her son had been murdered by Gabby Petito, it is at best an odd letter for a mother to write her son. If you remember in the prior video I did, the defense is alleging, the Laundries are alleging that Roberta was basically referencing to child stories that, or to books that she had read to Brian when he was younger. Well, I don't know about it, baking a cake with a shiv in it. I mean, I didn't know about that. So it is the province of the jury to decide. Well, let me back up here. It is at best an odd letter for a mother to write her son, and Roberta Laundrie's explanation for writing it is frankly unbelievable. It is within the province of the jury to decide whether Roberta Laundrie is credible in her assertion as to when the letter was written, because that's what they're saying. If the letter was written before Gabby was buried or discovered, then doesn't it show that Roberta Laundrie knew, and possibly Stephen Bertolino knew when they made that statement to the public? When Attorney Bertolino made that statement that they knew that Gabby was dead, so why would they be saying that we hope she's reunited? And if that's not true, that caused, the Gabby's parents are saying that's what caused them the emotional distress because they lied. Okay, these are all allegations. It has yet to be proven. Okay, you can go ahead and read the rest of it. The plaintiffs want it because it's a key piece of evidence. The letter is a key piece of evidence, and the ability to cross-examine Roberta Laundrie. And they're asking the court to deny the Laundrie's request for a protective order because they have failed to show good cause. I think the judge is going to deny this protective order. I think the judge is going to require the Laundries to produce the letter. Okay, let's take a look at, here's another update, the bank records. So Gabby's parents are asking the Laundrie to turn over their bank statements to show if there were any transfers of $10,000 or more. And what it's called is a request to produce documents. So Gabby's parents are requesting that the Laundries produce their bank statements. All right, well, here's the Laundrie's opposition to that request. It was just filed. Why are they opposing that they have to turn over the bank statements? And the Petitos, Gabby's parents are asking for this to find out if money transferred because their argument, their theory is that the Laundries were attempting to help Brian flee the country. That's what they allege in their lawsuit. That's one of the allegations. And again, it's an allegation. It doesn't mean it's true. Okay, so it's called their third request for production of documents. So it's the third request seeking certain documents. And in this case, in the third request, they're seeking the bank statements, the production to seek financial withdrawals or transfers in excess of $10,000 between August 26th and September 4th. Why is that? That's the time that Brian, around August 26th, 27th is when they think Brian murdered Gabby. So that would be the time period of him traveling back to his parents' home in Gabby's van, right? And this is around the time that they go on that family camping trip, right? And then Gabby's body is discovered, I think, around September 19th. The statement made to the public, I think, was September 14th, 17th, somewhere in there. You guys will correct me. Okay, so Gabby's parents sent a letter to the Laundrie's attorney requesting that they produce these bank statements. And in response to the letter, the defendants, the Laundries, told the plaintiffs that the only responsive transfers, the only relevant transfers, I guess, or the only transfers that were made were between the Laundries and Bertolino. But Gabby's parents are not seeking, they don't want to know about the transfers between your attorney and the client, between Bertolino and Laundrie. They want to know if any transfers to anybody. So look at paragraph 3. They want to know transfers to anyone, but the Laundries are arguing any transfers to anyone, any kind of withdrawals or transfers that would be indicated in the bank statement, it's not relevant. And it wouldn't reasonably be calculated to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence. So in other words, what that means is, if they paid their cable bill, or they paid $5,000 to a niece or nephew, or they transferred money into their retirement fund or whatever, none of that would be relevant or lead to any admissible evidence in the emotional distress lawsuit. Interesting argument. It's a good, it's a valid argument to make. And they're saying that plaintiff's counsel expressed the reason. So in other words, the reason Gabby Petito's parents want these bank statements and for the Laundries to disclose whether they made transfers in excess of $10,000 to anyone is because they believe that the Laundries may have transferred the money for the purposes of helping Brian Laundrie flee from the authorities. You can go ahead and read the rest of it. And they're claiming that the court should deny this production of the bank statements because law enforcement has never concluded that Brian Laundrie either attempted to flee or that his parents tried to assist him. They're claiming the Laundries' bank records are confidential, and they're saying it's a fishing expedition. But the Laundries would be willing to show these bank statements to the court in camera. That means in the judge's chambers, for the judge's eyes only, to take a look at these bank statements and decide there, not in a public hearing, not in front of the public in the courtroom, have the judge decide in her chambers whether or not she thinks these bank records should be produced to Gabby's parents. So the Laundries are asking the court to deny this motion to compel. In other words, deny that they have to produce the bank statements. So they don't want to produce the bank statements. They don't want to produce the letter that Roberta Laundrie wrote. And the hearing is on May 24th in the Venice courthouse. If you Floridians are around, you might want to show up. It might be an interesting hearing. The other thing is that Gabby's parents just put the Laundries on notice that they're going to be seeking a subpoena of FBI records. So that'll be interesting. They're building their case. This is called the discovery phase. They're getting all the information, all the potential evidence they can collect to prove their case, because they did win the motion to dismiss. The case hasn't been dismissed. It's proceeding to trial. So between now and when the trial takes place, which I think is August of next year, each side is going to be pursuing any kind of evidence that can help prove their case that the Laundries and Bertolino inflicted emotional distress on Gabby's parents, or they didn't. So we'll find that out. All right, is there anything else I wanted to say? So I think that's it. So the hearings are 1:30 on May 24th. I think the court is going to require Roberta Laundrie, or the Laundries, to turn over, or Bertolino to turn over that letter that Roberta Laundrie wrote to Brian Laundrie. I think the court is going to also require the Laundries to turn over their bank statements. However, I think the court is going to redact, omit some of the transfers under confidentiality reasons. So I think the court is only going to release those withdrawals or transfers that could lead to admissible evidence in the emotional distress lawsuit. So I hope this all makes sense. So that's my quick update in the Petito versus Laundrie emotional distress lawsuit taking place in Florida. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing to Michele's Analysis. Please hit that like button, share these videos. If you want to contribute to me making these videos, put a PayPal link in the description box below the video. Please do leave a comment or question. And thanks for watching. Have a good week.